Ooh, ah. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Yeah. All right, so that's my best Method Man. He's trending on Twitter, by the way. Something to do with power. I don't watch that, but yeah. So I don't usually say if you've been living under a rock, but it seems like all the major media outlets are talking about it or have talked about it, and I feel bad because I haven't been able to make a video in so long. This one might actually get interrupted, but I've been really busy. Um, Last week, Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard for almost $70 billion. That's billion with a B. I'm just let that sink in for a minute. 70 billion. And so when I heard the news, I mean, I was shocked. But then as I thought about it more, I just had questions. And the big one was, why? So I'm going to attempt to answer that and my other questions that I had in this video. So why would Microsoft want to buy Activision Blizzard? Well, there's a couple reasons. The behemoth in the room is Call of Duty. Call of Duty is year in, year out, top three selling games every year, which is crazy because it always comes out in November, like October, November, that time frame, and it's still, one of the top selling games. The number one question right now is exclusivity. Exclusivity. Does Microsoft buying Call of Duty mean that Call of Duty will no longer appear on PlayStation consoles? That remains to be seen. We don't really know. My instinct tells me you don't spend $70 billion cash to just allow your product. I mean, it's essentially theirs now. You don't spend that kind of money to allow your product to exist on other platforms, maybe even flourish on other platforms. But I don't think Microsoft is playing the same game that everybody thinks they are. I do think that this is a good move for them, for Activision, Blizzard. If you are unaware, Activision Blizzard has been under the microscope lately. Actually, they got sued towards the end of last year for, let's just say, workplace misconduct. And I have a feeling, well, the CEO of Microsoft has already come out and said that they are going to clean that mess up. So, no worries there. Uh, for some reason, and you can say, oh, it's corporate greed, it's this, it's that. For some reason, I trust Microsoft. And the reason I'm saying that is just because when I look at their track record, this is what I see. They bought Minecraft. Excuse me. They bought Mojang, the studio that makes Minecraft. And Microsoft has allowed Minecraft to exist in spaces that are not Xbox. We got Steve in Smash Brothers. That happened well after the acquisition of Mojang. And if Microsoft was on some foul stuff, they'd be like, no, Steve is our character. He's not going to be in your game. I actually feel like that's a move that Sony would make, but I don't really feel that way with Microsoft. Same thing with Banjo and Kazooie. It's things like this that make me trust that Microsoft will do what's right for gaming in the future. Uh, what else? Last year they bought Bethesda. Now that's we're still kind of waiting to see what the fallout what the fallout from that acquisition will be. But we'll have to wait and see. Now the deal's not going to be finalized until next summer, so summer 2023. But here's what I can say that I honestly believe. In more recent years, Activision slash Blizzard, they've been really aggressive. Everything has to make a certain dollar amount, and if it doesn't, you're likely to get the axe. Kind of like with EA. And so Xbox has a different philosophy. One of their studios, I can't remember the name, they wanted to make this game like a hero brawler. That's what they called it. And I like hero games, so I checked it out. Checked out the open beta. It was all right, but that's just it. It was all right, but they got all the funding they needed. They put the game out, and it was on Game Pass. So whether the game did well or whether the game flopped, it was on Game Pass. And if you wanted to play it, you download it, you play it. If not, there are literally 99 other games on Game Pass that you could play. And under Activision, it's almost like you couldn't have a bad game or you're out of there. Now, Vanguard is still selling, but it's not doing nearly as well as Call of Duties of the past. Me personally, I haven't played a Call of Duty game in years. It's just, I just haven't. So, another question this brings to the forefront is it has a little bit to do with PlayStation's identity, or Sony PlayStation's identity. I remember back on PS3 when they created PlayStation All Stars. So anytime you make a game like that, speaking of, I think Microsoft should totally do one now, but not like a platform fighter. It'd have to be like a first-person shooter type game. But I think they have enough first-person IPs to, maybe get the ball rolling on that. But anyway, I digress. There were a lot of characters in that game who either were really obscure or were not PlayStation, air quotes, PlayStation All-Stars. Like you had Dante from Capcom, and don't get me wrong, like Smash Brothers has third-party characters in it as well. But the star of the show, year in, year out, was like their big three. Like Mario, Link, Kirby. Like you know them. You know what I'm saying? Your grandma knows them too. That these characters in this PlayStation game, like you look at PlayStation, and then that was another thing when they made the PlayStation Mini. the PS1 Mini. I was like, what games are they going to put on there? Why? Because most of the games that PlayStation is synonymous for are not made by Sony. They're made by Konami. They're made by Square. They're made by Capcom. So when you go back to do something like this, like a retro style system or whatever that happens to be, the consoles that, the games that you've actually made often take a back seat to third party properties. Now that's just how, that's how it evolved. But then when something like this acquisition takes place, it's like they can take the food right out of your mouth. Now Sony has come out and said, "Oh, well, we hope that Xbox will abide by contractual obligations." But all those are timed. What about after those contractual obligations, Uncle? What happens then? Now, Xbox, Microsoft, they have said that their first party games, all first party games in the future, will drop day and date on Game Pass, no questions. So that means in the future, at some point, like let's say, okay, so Starfield comes out this November. Let's say that you hyped about Starfield. You were going to get that. Instead of paying your $60 for Starfield, you could buy 4 months of Game Pass. And with that, you would have access to Starfield and whatever other games are in Game Pass for that 4 months. If you buy more than 2 games a year, Game Pass is your best bet. Game Pass is your best bet. No questions about that. Theoretically, if all things stay the way that they have been, future Call of Duty games, they're going to go straight into Game Pass. Overwatch 2, straight into Game Pass. Any future Crash Bandicoot games, Spyro games, Diablo. There's so much. This is, just the Activision Blizzard. This is not even talking about the Bethesda / ZeniMax acquisition that they made last year. Not to mention all the other studios that they have going, making games. Like there's a new Perfect Dark game coming soon. There's, that's a whole nother video. But the value that Game Pass is going to have in the future is going to be insane. And, it's all about choice. I think they just want to get their Game Pass subscriptions up. The last thing I want to talk about is Microsoft's entry into the mobile space. Because part of Activision Blizzard is King. And King makes Candy Crush, which makes like $1 billion a year. Easy. So, I don't really know much about mobile gaming. But you know who the mobile gaming experts are in this house? My kids. And I'm pretty sure that in a lot of households, they're the experts. Every house doesn't have an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Switch, but every house has a cell phone. probably multiple cell phones. And when mommy gets back from work, daddy gets back from work, they'll let their kids play games on their phones. Or they have their own phone, which they play games on. And so this thing is, I mean, it's monumental, but I don't think we're going to see the full outcome of it for years to come. But Microsoft is planting, they're planting their flag. And I said it in a video maybe last year that I love the confidence that Microsoft was operating with. And I still feel that way. Now, I don't think like I don't think they care about who quote unquote wins the sales war. Like I said before, I think they're playing a different kind of they're fighting a different battle. And it's evolved past what we traditionally know. On my son's tablet, there's an Xbox app, and I have streamed my Xbox to his tablet before. They have cloud gaming, which is the same thing except the Xbox is not in your house. Like they playing a whole different game. Anyway, these are my thoughts thus far on the Activision Blizzard merger. Oh, wait. I got one more thing. You know, I'm an Overwatch guy. Got to talk about Overwatch 2 for a second. I think this thing is going to it's going to work out brilliantly for Overwatch 2. Because I'm about 90% sure the higher ups at Activision Blizzard wanted Overwatch 2 to be X kind of game, but the people who were making the game wanted it to be Y kind of game. And I'm fully confident that Microsoft is going to allow them to make the game that they wanted to make. Because they're just going to make the game and then put it into Game Pass. And if people subscribe to Game Pass because of Overwatch 2, then great. If people buy Overwatch 2 on Xbox, great. Where does that leave PlayStation? Don't know, and I don't really care. I just want to play Overwatch 2. You see, this is how exclusivity works. There is no Nintendo console past N64 that I've bought without the promise of a Smash Brothers. If the successor to the Switch comes out and they say there's going to be no Smash Brothers on it, no Mario Kart, I might not get it. But Nintendo knows what they're working with. And that's why they continue to sell. Anyway, as Darkwing Duck would say, yep. This is Blue Pharaoh signing off. Y'all have a good one. Till next time. Peace. I know I said I was done, but if you've been looking at the pictures, you would see Guitar Hero. Now, I still have my rock band instruments. Could a resurrection be nigh? I can hope, right? Blue Pharaoh out.